lot of housing news this week, but I will tell you this, the fireworks are going to be at the end of the week. Here's what we got on the calendar for the week of 18 August to 22 August. We're starting off with housing news that isn't necessarily going to move rates, but it's going to tell us what the impact of the high rate environment has been. So Monday we have the National Association of Homebuilders Housing Market Index. This gets their sentiment, and they've been down in the dumps now for really the last several months because they were anticipating rates coming down, homes becoming more affordable, prices coming down, supplies and labor becoming more affordable, and they haven't seen that yet. Although we have seen it in the last couple weeks, we'll see what the last couple weeks of rates coming down has done for their sentiment, their happiness factor, if you will. On the 19th, we get building permits and we get housing starts, again, focusing the first 2 days of the week on home builders. Wednesday, we have the China rate decision. So what is China going to do with their Fed funds equivalent? We also have a 20-year bond auction, and the minutes from the July Fed meeting are going to come out. And this is where we're going to maybe see some of the impact of two of the Fed board members or committee members who dissented. Remember, the first time in 30 plus years that we had two people dissent on voting on whether or not to lower or move the Fed funds rate. Thursday is the usual initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims. And again, will we get to 2 million on the continuing jobless claims? If we do, ladies and gentlemen, rates are going to go down on Thursday hardcore. We don't know if we're going to get there. We're just over 1.9 million. Existing home sales change. We're going to see that next week. Will we see a rebound from the last couple weeks? Probably not, because the impact of lower rates over the last couple weeks will not be seen until we look at the report in September, which covers August. And then Thursday and Friday, the Fed is meeting in Jackson Hole, and on Friday, the Fed Chair Powell will come out and speak, and that's where we're going to get the fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we're going to see a lot of speculation on what's going to happen in September and really throughout the rest of the year. And like I said before on Friday, will President Trump, will he select his next Fed chair before the meeting in Jackson Hole? Will it be somebody who's already on the Fed? What will that do to the meeting? What will the impact of the choice of a new Fed chair be on this big important meeting in Jackson Hole? All right, so let's take a look at rates real quick. Conventional rates. Conventional were between 6.58, 6.68. So we ended the week last week a little higher than where we were when we started the week, but still in a good channel. You look at VA rates, we started at 6.15 at the beginning of last week. We ended at 6.19. And again, these aren't my rates necessarily. These are the average of VA rates across the country. This week, expect to stay somewhere between 6 and 6.25. There's no real reason except maybe on Thursday and Friday for interest rates to go beyond that barrier between 6 and 6.25. So, yeah, I know there's a lot of people who are getting information about refinancing. And I would tell you this, if you're not refinancing and you're not dropping your rate by at least a point, you're probably not going to be able to recoup the cost. The benefit may not be there. You may need to wait a little bit longer. And I think, overall, we're relatively safe unless you're absolutely an extremist. And that's where you talk to your lender. But again, don't jump at that first offer you get. Really, you want to talk to somebody who's going to help you run through the numbers to help you ensure that you are making a wise move. All right, because there is a cost to refinances. Don't listen to anybody who says there isn't. There is a cost. You just got to do it right. All right, that's all I have for you guys this week. Big week towards the end. Fireworks. Like, comment, subscribe. Certainly love to get your feedback. What are you thinking right now about the housing market? Is it a good time to buy? I always love to get the reasoning why, so go ahead. Put it in the comments. Why are you not going to buy? Why are you going to buy? Whether it's in Oahu or anywhere else. All right, have a great weekend. Aloha.